Good evening, guys. Welcome back to my channel. So basically, this is my first YouTube video because I have finished all my college applications, including my best friend Eric.
Yay.
We also finished all our college application, and this is the reason why we started this YouTube channel, is to share with you guys about our personal thoughts, about our reflections based on the life experiences, to teach you guys how to apply to good universities, even though we are failures of college application. Oh my god. Okay. So basically, this is the introduction of our YouTube channel. Please ignore the sentences over there. Even though I'm a Chinese, I'm a native Chinese speaker, but I don't know any single word on that. I think we just betray our ancestors.
Well, something that we don't need to learn, but like still some fancy Chinese words. So.
Yeah, fancy Chinese words. Okay. So before starting our conversation, I think you must be interested about the question list that I have prepared for you. Really thoughtful question list.
Really?
So long.
Impressive.
So before the page of our question list, I'm gonna show you guys about my notes. This is my UCAT preparation note. So basically, UCAT is a exam specially designed for UK medical school applicants. If you want to get into UK medical schools, you have to take UCAT. And what I'm gonna say is that UCAT is so challenging. I think it's really tremendous task. Like, you have to complete for about 300 MCQs in no more than
300
2 hours.
MCQs?
Yeah, 300 MCQs in no more than 2 hours. So this is so challenging.
Yeah,
I think for me, at least for me, it's quite challenging, but never mind. So we just start our conversation. So I think this video is to talk more about his college outcome, application outcome, and also talk about his growth, his life
like my personal growth, how I become who I am, and how I fit into my college that I'll be going to.
Really authentic answers. So could you please do a brief introduction about yourself?
Fine. So, hello everyone, I'm Eric, and I'm a current senior student in HF5 International Department of Affiliated High School of Southern China Normal University. And I just got into NYU in my second ED2 round, and also being accepted by HKUST in the major of business. So like I'll be attending NYU, and my major is gonna be about sports management, which is in the SPS Academy. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I know for sports management major in NYU, I think it's under School of Professional Studies, right?
Yes.
I think it is a really challenging major because I know for this program, it is one of the best programs in the States. So how do you apply? How can you get into NYU?
I would say like for any type of college applications, the first thing you do is you have very high GPA, you have high TOEFL scores, which basically you meet the criteria of getting into NYU. So I think that's the most basic stuff that also I think I meet the requirements, even though I'm not very high exceeding it, but like still basically meeting the requirements to being accepted. And also besides that, it's just basically more about activities, about your application essays, and how you really define who you are, and how you show your characteristics, and also how you think NYU is the best school for you and why you choose this school. So I think in terms of how I define as who I am, and how I think I'm perfectly matching the characteristics of NYU, and how I show my passion into the field of sports, I think I did these three parts very well, and combined with my overall score in academic level. I think that's how I get into NYU. So yeah.
Oh my god. Because I know for many applicants of NYU, they want to apply for the Stern Business School at NYU or Wharton Business School at Wuhan. But I think applying for sports management is a really rare choice. So could you please tell me why you are interested in sports management?
Yeah, and by the way, like you can still transfer to Stern after you get into NYU.
So you plan to transfer to Stern after getting into NYU?
If I really have a very high as fuck GPA, of course I'll consider it.
Okay.
But like despite that, I think being the part, like I'm still focusing into sports management is the best choice I had right now. And like mentioning about how I get into the field of sports, I would say it's being influenced by my youth hobbies. I like playing basketball, football, and multiple different types of sports games at a young age. And I see LeBron James as my role model, seeing how he really reflects him as a very talented basketball player on and off the court, and seeing how he makes community influences. So I think that's how I'm able to being
Okay, calm down.
Okay, not God, like I'm fine, but like disease comes sometimes. So yeah, I think that's how I think like LeBron James really influenced my terms of sports, and I want to be part of the industry where people make changes in the community of sports and how changes can be made. So I think that's how I'm really interested in sports, and also like attending different types of activities. Summer schools also like brought my interest in it. So yeah.
Okay, sure. So actually, I'm not the kind of person who is that interested in sports. Well,
Absolutely.
I never watched even single one NBA competition per se. So can you tell me more about sports or the development of sports field in China or in Hong Kong or in the United States or anywhere else?
Yeah. And I think like the sports is very mature in USA because I think they have 5 major leagues with Super Bowl is very like an international sports event. They have good concerts as well. So I think that's how I think it's very like an event. It's a very high level of events place in the USA where different sports can be respected and different cultures of sports can be embraced. But like in China, I think because of our social norms and how our educational backgrounds and our cultural stereotypes or hierarchies, even I would say, is how sports are not being that valued that much, especially for teenagers, because we're focusing a lot more on studies, and I think sports is not like most of our Chinese parents' priority, or even they won't let you to do sports. But like in Hong Kong, I would say it's more free environment because there's a lot of like horse riding games in Hong Kong every single weekend.
Horse riding games?
Yeah.
What's that?
In Mongol culture, 真的有.
Okay.
Really, it's
Okay.
like horse riding games, and and there's also like American football, 7 versus 7. There's also a very big sports event in Hong Kong. So I think comparing to China, I think we're very lag behind with the sports environment. We're lag behind for USA and Hong Kong, and also even like Singapore or even Thailand. So I think being able to learn sports from the perspective of Chinese teenager, I think that's how maybe I can change the environment of sports in China, also contribute to the environment as well. I think since our policy has changed so far, I think sports are being more respected in a way compared to the past. I think following this trend, I think more changes can be made and more individuals can be a part of the sports. So I think, yeah, I think that's how my goal of being a sports guy, that's how my goal of being a sports guy is. And I hope like these aims can actually be achieved through not only myself, but also more, have like more smart teenagers in the world can also be able to do so.
So do you want to become an athlete in the future? I also have another question. Like recently, I'm just starting doing gym. And do you have any suggestions? Like because I have never done any sports for the rest of my years. I'm sorry, for the very past 70 years. So do you have any suggestions for sports newbie like me?
Like okay, sports newbie. Okay.
Okay.
So for gym, I was,
Okay, actually I get failed for my junior high school graduation exam for sports.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fantastic too.
Why is it fantastic, bro?
Well, it's good, I would say. Like for gym, I would say just try your best. I think do it one single level and don't do it without any guidance. I think like a lot of my friends, they just hang out there taking photos and have fun, running, playing without any like proper actions, I would say. But if you really have that money and time, just find yourself a teacher, and I think they'll give you proper guidance. But like so far for me, I'm just good at just playing regular sports. I think I don't have time for gym so far, but if I really try
Have you
it,
ever done gym before?
like never,
Never.
like
Okay.
never, because I think
Okay.
basketball, football is enough for me. So I'm not willing to be like that strong with those like muscles and shit like that. I think being a healthy guy with good diets, good health is enough. So but still, I still recommend gym if anyone wants to do it. So good choice, very good choice.
Healthy mindset with a
Yeah.
healthy complex. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
With 八合一腹肌, so
Okay.
yeah, anyway,
Anyway.
it's good. Yeah.
Okay. So when talking about your personal growth, so I don't want to stop our conversation just merely at like college application, how you get into NYU. I want to know more about your personal stories and
Wow.
what spirits, what values, what personal beliefs get you into
Personal beliefs.
NYU. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So, well, basically, I have read his personal statement just like the very last night.
Yesterday night.
Okay. And he mentioned a lot about his personal growth and his personal anecdotes. So you mentioned about in the childhood, you suffered from discrimination based on your physical conditions. You mentioned about you have started before.
Yeah.
So many peers have laughed at you because you were not good at speaking. So what do you think regarding on such kind of discrimination? And what lessons have you gained from being discriminated because of your physical conditions?
Yeah, that's a very deep question. Yobi question, I would say. It's very Yobi.
Okay.
Yeah, I think being stutter is, I think that's how I've been left behind from my peers at a young age, especially in kindergarten and primary school. I've tried to make changes, but like it's tough, especially when you're young. You're not able to have good learning habits, and being looked down at, of course, makes you bad. You want to make a change. You want to prove yourself that you're not the kind of guy that people think you are. And that's how I started to make changes with my guidance of my parents and also my self-motivation. And that's how I think really pushes me forward. And this kind of discrimination really pushes me forward to change myself. And of course, there's no much, especially being treated badly. And I think just having a strong mindset, think one day you'll be able to overcome all these difficulties and change into a new type of you. And that's how I think the overall goal of improving yourself every day really changes who you are, and I think this kind of motivation changes me as well, because I also wrote different events after how I changed myself after overcoming stutter. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing other physical conditions you had many years ago. And well, honestly, as one of your best friends, I feel so sorry about what you have encountered in the past.
Wow.
And you also have mentioned about you were selected as the host of the school event during primary school. And I was wondering how you transform yourself from someone being discriminated because of stutter to becoming a host for the school event, a large school event, standing under the spotlight. How did you succeed at this transformation?
I would say there's a lot of preparation involved in it. No matter physically or mentally, you're getting prepared for it, because once you're being assigned to this kind of big task, until the day you actually showed up on the stage, I think there's a lot of overcoming personal setbacks, and also not only to train myself, fully knowing what I'll be saying that day, and also getting myself prepared for all different kinds of circumstances or all different kinds of situations you might face. You might face difficulties, you might go through them easily. I think getting yourself prepared is very important. And also disregarding the voice outside of you really matters, because I think some of my friends, they would say they will be looking down on you, having still basically bad comments based on their stereotypes. But I think how you're able to disregard them and being yourself, prepare and fully enjoy the progress, and enjoy the day when you're on the stage speaking to all the other friends down there is really a very good experience. So I think it's all about preparation, all about enjoying the process.
Okay. So I can also share with you guys about my personal experiences working as the host. But actually, I'm not gonna say I'm someone really good at speaking, but I was selected to become a host of school events many times during primary and secondary school.
Wow.
So I think for the first time standing in front of the audiences, I feel so awkward. I feel so frustrated because I don't know what should I speak. And even though I have a speech draft, I have a manuscript for what I'm going to host at the school events, but I will feel so nervous about that. And for the first time hosting at a school event, I got failed. And many friends, many classmates criticized me. They said I'm not good at speaking. They said I had stutter, but I just overcome that. I just ignore such kind of noises.
Yeah.
I just turned discrimination into the energy to push me forward. So this is how I encounter my very first failure of becoming a good host.
That's so great.
Oh my god, okay. This is so politically correct.
Yeah, let's go back. Woohoo!
Okay.
Yeah.
And moving into the next stage, you have successfully run up. You have become a speaker at TEDx, Ersha Island branch or station, I don't know. You mentioned about COVID-19 quarantine policy. Well, we all suffer from COVID-19 very seriously. I mean, for the very past 3 to 4 years, I stayed at home receiving education because of COVID-19. And because, I'm a pre-med student, so I really learned a lot. I have really done a lot of investigations regarding on how COVID-19 could impact individuals at psychological level. Yeah. So do you have any understanding, or could you please briefly tell us what you have spoken during your TEDx speech?
Okay, I think for a TEDx speech, I'll be saying like, I would say how nationalism and patriotism is my topic. My topic is basically just nationalism and patriotism, and I'll say how this kind of this kind of thoughts, this kind of spirits, push us forward to overcome pandemic. And also, I knew there's also like there are a lot of bad comments or stereotypes based on our pandemic policies, but I just want to show them like how these things are not true and how the Chinese people, especially the Chinese government, have united all of us, and based on that spirit of being like nationalism and patriotism, we overcome difficulties. And actually, by that stage, I think it's 2022, January, close to 2023, we've made some stage like victories. Even though the world has looked upon on us, the world thinks that we're not going to do it, they think we lack of human rights, but I think we actually did it, and we actually saved people's lives, and we actually have freedom back again. So I think having viewed some this kind of those big health crisis in a more critical way, in a more reasonable way, is also that I want to embrace, where our voice should be heard, and also our thoughts should be objective, and also being more well-rounded. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your question. So I also want to share with you about my personal anecdote of being interviewed at HKU Mad. Well, we have 2 rounds of interviews. The first round interview is like individual interviews. Like I was asked for 4 questions in 8 minutes. I need to respond in both Chinese and English. And for the second round interview, it's group interview. So basically, I think it's like a round table with 3 contestants sitting over there.
Yeah.
And there is a Guailo interviewer asking us some questions regarding if we are the policy maker of HKSAR. What kind of policies are we going to make if there is when there is a pandemic in the near future?
Wow, that's very
So I have never prepared for such kind of questions before. So you mentioned, I feel like you are someone who is an inherent leader. So if you were the contestant and you were asked about questions like policy making, what do you think are the most important factors when making a decision on the spot, especially standing as high as governmental officials?
Wow, that's something that we did prepare yesterday. Anyways, I think having this kind of big policies when they're being made, I think this should be also well-rounded and being analyzed in depth. Also considering all stakeholders, like who are those being involved in it? Because when we see in the past, Hong Kong has not been locked down, and I think there's still international trade in because it's a city with huge financial hub, also with all those airports coming in and out, airplanes coming in and out every day. So I think like maintaining its international stage, like its position in an international stage, but also keeping people's lives important is how I think it's gonna be balanced, well balanced. So I think Hong Kong based in the Greater Bay Area, when we have support from China, it's how that we're gonna make our policies more supportive, because we know that there's a country backing us up. So if there's really a pandemic coming up, I would say just being unique in a way that I think
What do you mean by being unique in a way?
Like unique. It's just like not shutting down everything. I think there should be a balance. Like I won't say like specific city names, but like some cities in China has been so blocking down without considering all human rights, and people died because of the inconvenience brought by it. So how we're gonna combine innovative methods, combining AI or like big data research, or even GPS, GIS, and using advanced technology to help us to guide which is the best one, and how basically we're going to like separate different districts and do them individually is also very well-rounded discussions. So I think past experience can guide us a lot in the future. And as long as the officials are very wise, if they're dummies, who knows?
Okay, and thank you for sharing so many points regarding all your understanding towards the quarantine policy in China. Okay.
Appreciate it.
I think being a speaker for public affairs is something really good and valuable, but I mean for some countries we have a really serious censorship policy. So when you are trying to make public speech in mainland China regarding a COVID-19 quarantine policy, have you ever received any censorship requests from the governmental officials? And how can you make sure that your speech is candid, true, and honest, even though the censorship is already there?
Okay. I think censorship is I think it's a very big topic in China. And before like giving our speech, we all need to upload our speech of the draft into a website, and they will just go through it. And then if there's any words that are being forbidden, they will tell us that we cannot say it. Otherwise, we change it. Otherwise, we delete a part of it. And I think that during preparation, I would say how being objective is a really important factor about how we're able to like go through data, go through interviews with people, and how I could collect a vast majority of different kinds of like viewpoints from either being the ones that are being quarantined or ones that are outside of China. And I think how being able to balance this kind of opinions and also being able to express them in a well-rounded way and not using like extreme words is also very important. And I think censorship, I think it didn't bother me a lot back then. But I'm sure that if I say extreme words, if I say something that is based on Western values or being so biased, I think absolutely it'll be canceled. And by the way, the TEDx is also being canceled in the past 2 years. So it just reopened this year, like this spring. So we see how TEDx as a platform of giving speeches, sharing ideas, is also being very well censored. But like from my experience, I did my research well. I'm a very objective person. I'm just trying to convey what I see, what I hear, what I experience. And I think that's how I'm able to express in a way that values are being respected and being embraced, that people can accept it in a more easy way and also in a more legal way. Yeah.
Okay. Like I think I share some resonance with your experiences.
Yeah.
Well, I've co-founded one of the largest LGBTQ plus groups for Chinese teenagers in GBA area. So you can basically search WeChat official accounts like Lighten Our June. That's LIGHTN for Lighten, OUR for Our, JUNE for June.
Wow,
so
oh my God, so good.
At the first initial stage of publishing our articles, our advocacy articles, we did receive some censorship requests from the governmental officials. Well, they just called me. They just told me that I have to delete some sentences, some words, some vocabs, because this severely violates the national policies.
Yeah.
But I just try to persuade them, like even though for some words they did actually violate the national policy, but we also need to realize the importance of advocating for LGBTQ plus teenagers in China. Specifically, we know that for many teenagers in China, because they have no understanding towards LGBTQ plus issues or sexual affairs, so they are normally discriminated by the social atmosphere, by the social norms. Also because they have no understanding regarding on that. So they may have some unsafe sexual behaviors.
Oh, damn.
And they may got infected by some sexually transmitted diseases. And I think this is the thing that we should really try to avoid. And I try to persuade the governmental officials in a really serious way, and they adopt our suggestions. So we receive recognition from the governmental officials, and that's why my LGBTQ plus advocacy group can still run to now.
It's so good.
That's so good.
That's so good. Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh my
So,
God. Oh my
yeah,
God.
let's go.
Let's go.
It's good.
So I mean, for many TV speakers or adult speakers, I know for some TV speakers, like I just did a research online. The average age for a qualified TEDx speakers is about like 30 to 40 years old, and you're just 16 years old.
And let's go.
So how can you? So I mean, like, how can you let the organizer of your LEDx organization trust your words? And how can you make sure the words spoken from your mouth is trustworthy and persuasive? I know this is a really sharp question, but I really want to know
That's a
about
very damn sharp question.
Yeah.
It's way better than my interview yesterday. New channel, come on, you need to come up with better questions. This is so good. I think, yeah, as a youth speaker, I think there's a lot of auditions, a lot of rounds of being separated, and also you're being auditioned, you're being trained, also you're being able to like speak out. And I think I have the confidence to apply for it first because it's a TEDx speech. And I think my oral English and my confidence speaks out among my peers and also even some adults. And I think, and also during that time, COVID is still a very widely spoken topic. And I think, like with guidance of my coaching staff, also my coaching mentors, I think my speech has the depth and also being innovative enough to stand among peers.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is also being rounds of being training. Also, you're being able to have interviews with TEDx officials, and I think they recognize me as kind of a good speaker. That
Good speaker.
yeah, just a good speaker.
Just a good qualified speaker. Well qualified speaker.
It's a qualified speaker that they're willing to advertise me on. They're willing to accept my values, and I think they're well being spreaded. So I think if there's anyone out there that wants to be a TEDx speaker, just be yourself, go for it. I think if just like every other thing, start at the beginning and just try for it. You might be successful one day and you might be not, but like the progress is very important and you enjoy it. So even though I'm well below the age, but I think that day the speaker very well, and I think the audience accepted, and my video is being uploaded to TEDx official website. So yeah, it's just a good experience for me.
So I think if ever you standing at the same position and in the same situation, I think one of the most important thing is to use my true heart, my compassion, my passion to move the organizers of the TEDx, because I think for everyone who wish to be qualified to stand on the stage of TEDx, I think one of the most important things is that you must have a determination to change social affairs, to persuade others. So you must have passion at the things that you are interested in, and passion at changing the lives of wider community. And I think the second thing is also about improve your professionalism. For example, if I want to gain a permission to be accepted to speak in public places, I think I would prepare my resumes, I would prepare some video portfolios and some essay portfolios to showcase my understanding towards a specific issue. I would also try to pursue the organizers of some charitable organizations to persuade them that I am a suitable speaker for such event. So let's move into his most significant achievement. Becoming the founder of the Greater Bay Area High School Debate League competition.
Hey, thank you for pronouncing that term correctly. Woohoo!
Thank you so much.
That's a long term, but like you made it.
You made it, yay! So I think this is basically a debate competition. So before moving into discussing your debate competition, your self-initiated debate competition, do you have any suggestions for future debaters who were temporarily lack of confidence to express their own opinions in a clear and logical way?
I think for young debaters, the most important thing is that you trust what you're saying, because no matter you're speaking in a logical way, you're speaking in a non-logical way, you're speaking in a way that you use data well, non-data well, also use a lot of debate techniques. The most important thing is that you open your mouth and just go for it.
Open your mouth.
Yeah, open your mouth, just go for it. I think there's no right or wrong during debates, just who makes it more convincing. I think that's how debate works. There's no morally right and morally wrong, just how you convince your peers and your opponents. So I think, and for young debaters, just try different platforms. I think in China or in any parts of the world, there's also plenty of debate competitions that you can basically use or attend. I think I attended multiple debate rounds, and I just met many good friends in it. And they're all like very amateur ones, but like they're still able to stand up and just go for it. I think that's how we're able to learn from each other and learn from how that our values and our ideas can be accepted as well. So if you're a young debater, everything starts hard, but if you just persist with dedication, determination, you can be a very successful debater. Like him and me.
Yeah. I'm not a successful debater. Well, actually, I have participated in many debating competitions.
Yeah, I know you too.
In primary school and junior high school, but I actually gave up debating after entering senior high school because I had to prepare for medical exams. I was going to prepare for my AP subjects and stuff like that. So I think it's a pity. So I think I will do more debate competitions after entering the college. I think this is also a really important skill set and important or valuable opportunity for you to enhance your critical thinking, analytical thinking, and also broaden your horizons, stuff like that.
Of course, yeah,
anyway.
Yeah.
So, have you ever encountered any obstacles or challenges when collaborating with others to host or initiate this debate competition? I know you must have a lot of things to say.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Especially for someone, right?
Yeah, it's like her first one. So I think hosting the competition, I think also for me as an amateur debate game hoster, I think I face difficulties of lack of funding. That's most important thing, like your lack of money.
Yeah, I think funding is very important. Well, basically for me, because I have my own startup. My startup is called Doctor. I think this is a psychological artificial intelligence startup. At the very first time, we don't even have money to purchase any servers and register for a website, a domain. This is a really serious thing. So actually, because I have participated in Diamond Challenge, this is like a business entrepreneurship program to encourage high school students to launch their own startups, and you can actually get about 1,000 to 2,000 US dollars as the annual investment if your proposal is that good. And actually, for my startup, we just entered into like the semi-final list.
Really?
Diamond Challenge.
Regionally. You never told me that shit.
In Greater China area.
Oh damn!
I have we even applied for a payment as well.
Damn!
Well, even though I have paid it, but I still got rejected from JHU. This is the thing that I really cannot understand.
That's low key, bro. That's low key.
Low key, so what?
Low key 是屌逼意思。
Okay,
and more
anyway.
fancy way, low key, bro.
Okay, so I think actually, and then because as someone who is in charge of startups and also some student organizations, I think you can actually present.
You can what?
You can actually present your proposals to some business competitions, some business pitch competitions like Diamond Challenge and anywhere else, or you can present your own proposal to your parents or anyone else who is in charge of angel investment. I think you can gain some professional suggestions, advice from them, and after receiving from suggestions and advice, you can try to put these suggestions into revising your proposal to have a larger opportunity to secure a fund. I think this is very important. So continue your explanation regarding on the funding problem of your debate competition.
Yeah, I think no matter his experience or my experience, we see how money really talks. So for me, finding sponsors, finding money, I actually like borrow some of my money from my parents. I think parents are really supportive way that they also give me physically support and mentally support, not only about the financial one, but also how they let me think that I'm the one that I can do this. Do this shit.
Okay.
And
stop using S words.
Yeah, do this shit.
Or it will be censored by the YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm able to do this competition because I also got friends that are involved in it. I think I have a very great team. No matter because like the debate competition is hosted by me as HFI, and also there's international school in my city. So I think I'm able to connect with people. I'm able to share my ideas and values that we come up with a proposal very quickly, and soon enough we started to search out for debaters, buying different kind of materials that needs to be used on a day, trophies, banners, certificates, all of it, and also getting money. And I think that's how, like, even though we lost plenty of money, like we had a huge, like we almost got bankrupted. Because we lost 3,000 RMB afterwards. Yeah, 3,000 RMB.
Just 3,000, bro.
Well, as a debate game, because
I can understand that.
That's a single event, and we only asked for them 20 RMB for register, and we spent like 4,000, 5,000 for just buying snacks for them, getting them trophies,
and
like
some afternoon teas, scholarships,
yeah,
stuff like that.
Beverages, and even there's like if you really win the championship, you get awarded 500 RMB. That's how I motivate debaters to come in my competition, like using money as a tool. That I think even though it's not that sustainable, but still it motivates people to actually join the competition. They find a goal of it and try debating. And I think that's how this game is being aimed, and I think that's how this game creates a platform. And they fight financially, lack of experience, and also how people might be not that supportive. I think in terms of people wants to give up because it's too hard. I'm the one that who keeps this thing going and actually encouraging all the team members to just go for it. And I think just go for it. I think because we're close. We're so close to the finals, like completion of the whole project. And I think once the thing is done, we're also proud of ourselves. And I think that's how a activity or competition really embrace us, not only for the competitors but also for us, the organizers. So very
That's good.
meaningful,
That's
very meaningful memory.
I think this is a really valuable and enriching memory for not only the athlete, for not just for the contestant, but also for
Yeah,
you. As
yeah, I think so.
I think you must have met some debaters who lack enough confidence, or who are even afraid to speak at a podium. So, as the initiator, as one of the panel judge of the debate competitions, what initiatives have you ever done to make sure they are well involved in your competition?
How I think before the competition, I hosted some academic seminars where I get around amateur debaters, get around and teach them how you can have some very direct and easy debate skills that you can learn by 2-3 days before competition, and also some debate skills, debate knowledge, or debate techniques that even you can implement when you're doing the competition. So I think that's how I help them to put their feet into the door of debate, and I think I taught them in an easy way, so they can also accept my knowledge and my concepts in an easy way. And also I try to keep this competition as novice as possible, because even though there's very great talented debaters coming up, most of them are really young debaters. So I put them in the same group where there's no much difference between the debate abilities. And I think being in a group where you're being comfortable with, also with the techniques that I taught them, it's also able to let them to fit into the group and enjoy the progress of debate, and learning how debate brings you, how improves your soft skills in a way. So both physically and mentally prepared for debates, how external help and internal help works. I think that's how a very responsible team leader would do.
Thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
about your valuable experiences
It's
of
so tough.
participating in
Oh,
debate
sh-
competition
oh, sh- tough,
as a
bro.
successful debater. Let's gonna be true and candid and honest. He's a really good and successful debater.
Hey, yo, bro, appreciate it. Yeah, let's go.
So I think moving at the very end of our conversation, I want to ask you for many suggestions for your future generation. Not future generation.
Wow,
I mean for some juniors, right?
That's a big ass topic, bro. Yeah.
So I think for all of us, we must suffer from discrimination to some extent. For some of us, we suffer from discrimination based on sexual orientation. For some of us, we suffer discrimination based on health conditions or financial situation or family status. So I think as someone who is ready to work at the sports management field, how are you going to overcome the discrimination inside the field of sports?
Well, it's a very sharp question too.
Yeah.
I would say
Because I know, for example, I have participated in John Locke running competition.
yeah.
Female rights and philosophical division. And I still remember for that question, I was asked about how do girls have the same rights of participating in Olympics as same as the male athletes.
Okay.
So if you're a policymaker, what do you think regarding on such situation? Unequal situation in the sports field.
I think that discrimination starts from very long century before, and I think with women empowerment, I think the situation has been changed very well recently, because girls have being able to more participate in sports and activities, especially the Olympics, in larger frequency, larger amount of times, and I think there's more education involved in it. And I think also there's race differences, because I think white athletes tend to appear in more international events previously, but nowadays we see how Chinese athletes, Asian athletes, black athletes also standing up on the international stage. And I think not just basically about race, also about gender, where girls can be respected and girls can also embrace the joyness of having sports. I think it's all about education, empowerment, also about how you can also being able to respect sports, and also open up a wide variety of sports. Not only the ones that we see, the traditional ones, but also esports, frisbee, emerging sports types. Also creates new opportunity for girls. Even there's skateboarding, it's all like surfing, chess.
Surfing?
Yeah, surfing is also in the Olympics next time. 真的.
Next time, oh my god, for
Yeah.
real?
Yes,
Not gonna lie. Oh my god, I love surfing.
Yeah, surfing.
I love
Also
surfing so much.
rock climbing. It's also
Climbing. Oh, okay.
yeah, rock climbing is also involved in it. So I think these kind of sports types creates more opportunities where values can be shared, genders can be respected, and all things can be put together in a peaceful and respectful way.
Thank you so much for sharing. Last but not least, I think there is a really important determinant that can let you get into NYU. I think it's about your tactics on amplifying the voices for the minorities. I think voices is a really important topic of your life experiences. Since very young, you were discriminated because you are not good at amplifying your voices.
Yeah.
But growing up, you participated in many like mock trials, model insignations, debate competitions because you want to amplify the voices for your interest and also for the interest of many minorities and wider community. And also, you also try to host the debating competition because you also want to amplify the voices for those who lack confidence in speaking in public manner.
Okay.
So, I mean, in the future, because we are all grade 12 students, we are going to study in college, and after graduating from the college, we need to work in our professional field. For you, it's like management or sports field. For me, it's like medical field. So, do you have any suggestions for any professionals to enlighten others through amplifying their voices, like, I mean, in professional settings? Do you have any suggestions?
Professional settings.
For example, like for medical field, do you have any suggestions for me as a
medical
medical
field
doctor? So
Wow.
how can I amplify voices for the minorities in the healthcare setting? For example, like for some countries, there are lack of sufficient vaccination programs. And for many rural areas in China and some Asian countries, people there are suffering from lack of enough medical resources. So do you have any suggestions? Standing at the position of future business innovator or management, a manager or policy designer?
Oh, your question gets sharper and sharper nowadays.
Sharper and sharper nowadays. Like, I'm really the kind of person who's good at raising sharp questions.
Yeah, and I think you should do the interview for me next time. And I think the teacher who did the interview yesterday, it's kind of it's kind of restricted in her mind. So we don't know what happened yesterday. But like still, back to our topic today about how you can really be resonated with the peers that you care about. I think the most important thing is like really like you experience what they have experienced. I think there's like there is programs where able to really to get engaged with students or minorities. I think there's there's a school in Guangzhou called NASG. They have programs where actually.
What is NASG?
NASG.
Is it AISG?
North Anglia School.
It's like British school in Guangzhou.
It's a bilingual school in Guangzhou. North Anglia School. North Anda.
Okay.
Yeah, they have programs where you're actually going to Tanzania to build infrastructure for the minorities. And then that's also how they're able to resonate with them, knowing that what they need and what they want. Because I think the internet is full of bias one day. Like the internet is full of bias. I think it's not my phone. Yeah, and the internet is full of bias. So the internet is full of bias. So I think able to really go inside the situation is more importantly also creating your own platform, because I think major platforms are already being occupied so much. But like with your own individual platforms, you can have your own creative content and also innovative thoughts. And I think with much advertisement or much I think with much more advertisement and expanding your market, I think it's also a way to amplify your voice. But just to be conclusive is how you're able to really go inside with them, being connected with them. Not only by just going to see what they have experienced, but also have the interviews, talks, seminars with them, and record them down what they need and transform them in a way that you can do it in your own way, in your own innovative way.
I think mental connection is always very important when you are trying to amplify the voices for others.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think if you don't understand the situations of the minorities or the population, the specific population that you are studying for or you are advocating for, I think it's actually really hard for you to amplify their voices or make voices for them in public manner. I think professionalism, as I have mentioned previously, is also very important as well, because you have to utilize what you have learned, like during your professional studies, to reshape the future of the population or the group that you are studying for. I think this is also a really important reason why I really love US admission policy.
Oh, wow.
Even though sometimes I criticize a lot about the so-called political correctness brought by US colleges, but I do believe that advocating for minorities during high school is really the things that everybody should try and work hard for. And I know for all of us, because we have known each other for approximately 6 years.
Decades.
And like decades, nearly a decade. Okay, nearly a decade.
Close,
So we
close.
really understand each other as someone who is really passionate at reshaping the future for those in need. So I think the thesis statement for today's conversation.
Wow.
Wow.
There's only even a thesis statement come up, guys.
Thesis statement.
A thesis statement
Okay.
is what?
It's like amplifying voices,
Resonate with the minorities.
using empathy and sympathy to make changes for others.
Yeah. And also being able to showcase your characteristics in a well-rounded way.
So this is the most fundamental reason why he could get into the most prestigious sports management
Jesus,
program
very good sentence.
in
I
the
like
United
that shit,
States
bro.
of America. So last but not least, let's raise our
What? Raise our hands, bro. Let's
Raise
get
our
it.
hands, okay. Okay. So this is the end of our my YouTube video today, and thank you for participating in my channel. So if you have any new ideas for what we are going to record for the very next video, welcome to comment in the comment box. And this is the end of today's interview.
And I'll say, as a very young, mature, as a very first-time interviewer, he has done a very, very good job. If this channel goes viral, just support him more, okay? I'm just a guest speaker today. I think this is more about him and more about how he's able to bring ideas around the world with more unique individuals. So let's wait for him to bring more creative contents.
I think for me, because oh my god, I don't know
Just
why
brag
I
yourself.
okay.
Just brag yourself.
Okay.
Come on, let's do it.
Okay, because I think for the very last few years of my high school, I paid so much attention on preparing for standardized exams.
Yeah.
I paid so much attention on preparing for my research programs, for some medical shadowing and medical school interviews. So I nearly gave up on advocating for the minorities, just like what Eric has done for the past few years. So this is also a reason why I started my Substack account, my Xiaohongshu account, my WeChat official account, and also my YouTube channel account. Because I want to make voices for others as well. I would like to share my own experiences and invite some successful peer leaders like Eric to share with you guys about our personal thoughts, our reflections, and also unveil some important things behind. I don't know behind what. Okay, anyway, this is not important. So this is the end of our YouTube video today. So
support him more. If you like that video, just click a like. He'll be more thankful than anyone else.
So thank you so much.
Yay!
Yay! Yay!
杀青.
杀青.
Let's go.